to It's All For You Demons, celebrating the fun of being a Kiss fan. I want to apologize for missing Friday a couple weeks ago. The thing with, I try to be as positive as I can on this channel and my Instagram, and sometimes you just reach a point where you can't, get on and be like, hey, it's fun to be a Kiss fan. Our neighborhood clan lost a very dear friend the Saturday of Memorial Day. Our buddy Brian Smith passed away, and I'm going to dedicate this episode to him. We met in 1979. We were friends through elementary school, middle school, high school. I drove him to school in high school. Went to college together, joined the same fraternity. He was my fraternity pop. Him and my buddy David, we were all best men in each other's weddings, like 3 weddings. Always had to have 2 best men and threw off all the planning of a wedding, but that's how tight we were, and it's just odd. This is our first kind of Stand By Me moment. Brian was never into Kiss, but I do have a picture of him in front of a Hot in the Shade poster in my room. And Brian was never really into music. He was the one friend I had that wasn't really into music. He loved music, but he just wasn't into bands. I remember one of his favorite songs was Life is a Highway by Tom Cochran. And he also loved Junkyard. For some reason, he took a shine to my Junkyard cassette, driving him to school in high school, and he loved Junkyard. And I have tons of pictures, Brian, of you, me, and Daisy loved you, and I know she's up there with you somewhere. Give her a hug from me. She is certainly happy to see you. This episode is dedicated to you, Brian. You were one of the cool ones, man, and together we were all the cool ones. Tonight, all the fun, all the nostalgia, all the wax is dedicated to you. And tonight, all the fun and wax will be Steve Alexander's amazing Kiss care package from Australia. It still blows my mind. Again, this is the stuff that if you would have told me when I was 15 and I had that Hot in the Shade poster on my bedroom wall with Brian and Daisy, I would have been like, what? I can't wait to grow up. And here we are. Thank you, Steve, so much for this. This night is going to be an amazingly cool night, and it's all going to be Australia Kiss merch. That is just fun to say. And we'll go into the history of my love and Danny's love of Australian merch. But first, let's do what we always do. Do a little HOTFACE. This isn't really episode worthy, so I will include it in HOTFACE. I have owned this crazy magazine from 1978 with the Alive cover for a very long time. I actually bought it at a Kiss Expo decades ago, when Kiss Expos would actually come to Missouri. And I believe this was in St. Louis, Missouri. I think I overpaid for it, but I had never seen it before, so I was super blown away by it. Because again, this is the childhood fun of being a Kiss fan. A kid in the 70s seeing this magazine in the grocery store, magazine rack somewhere, and just totally wanting this magazine and spending a summer day with a crazy magazine. It just reeks of that fun. Well, I found a tie-in magazine to this issue that I never knew existed. And it is this issue from 1980, a super special featuring that 78 cover right there on the magazine stand. And I love the fact that the kid is actually requesting Mad. Pretty good of Marvel to do that. Marvel was taking a stab at the Mad magazine audience, and I doubt that went well. A little tie-in to the 78 issue. So I had to get this, and with this, I was able to obtain the one crazy magazine I have wanted since high school, that for some reason in high school I thought was a book. And it is this issue with the Kiss doll on the cover. Realistic Kiss action figure burning the crazy mascot after he presses the fire button on Gene's chest. Definitely one of the coolest Kiss related comic book covers, for sure. Even a magazine cover, I would say. But for some reason when I was in high school, I thought this was a book. And I must have been confusing it with the Mad magazine book that has Kiss on the cover. And now the crazy collection is complete. Again, not enough for a video, but good enough for a hot face. Leave your hot faces below and let's wax. And look at this. Just like the old days with Shandy. Pups just watching Daddy work. Alright, so we moved to the Australian merchandise special, and I fell in love with Australian merch. I always say I fell in love with Australian merch due to Inner Sanctum, which is very true, but the first place I think Danny and I were ever bit by the Australian merch bug, or just Australia and Kiss in general, was Exposed.
What is this cassette with a kangaroo on it?
Oh man, this is great. This is the 1980 Australian Stadium Tour. Put on the first song, Detroit Rock City.
That version of Paul singing Detroit Rock City is hands down my favorite version of Detroit Rock City live ever. Made me fall in love with the purple jacket that Paul is wearing on that tour, which is another reason I love the People magazine cover, because Paul is wearing that purple jacket. You just really didn't see it a lot, especially in high school before the internet, and so one of my favorite jackets, the reason I loved grape flavor ice. I would always eat grape flavor ice before Danny and I had band practice. He would eat a cherry one, I would eat a grape one. We thought we were Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley forming the greatest rock and roll band ever, which we were not. We had big dreams, and I commend us for that. Everyone should dream big. Dream bigger than you think possible. And that jacket had a lot to do with that. And those band practices were the reason, decades ago, I made this Flavor Ice unmasked Flavor Ice box. I'm a crafty son of a gun. When you're bored and your dreams are big, you create your own Kiss merch. And this has a tie-in to what we're going to talk about tonight. And my buddy Tony P., Aaron's best friend, made me this unmasked Sydney, Australia disc. He was a genius at burning disc off, and he made this for me, and I still listen to it all the time because it has that Detroit Rock City, and this is the reason I love it so much. Those hooks in that vocal melody line are amazing, and I don't know why he didn't do that all the time, because just so freaking cool. And I love the fact that the Inner Sanctum TV show was also broadcast on radio, so kids in Australia could listen to it through the stereo. I love that. Little things like that. And Exposed also introduced Danny and I to that amazing Ace solo from Australia. And back then, we never knew why an Australian commentator started talking about like the decibels of the Kiss concert and the explosions. We never understood that. We probably thought that was just like a news clip, and we never realized it was a freaking TV show.
From the screaming 120 decibels of pure rock power to the exploding cannon fire, a Kiss concert is a totally energetic, unforgettable experience.
Until we got into Peter Arquette bootlegs and we discovered the Inner Sanctum, the Australian TV show from 1980. Blew our minds and just really opened us up to a whole new world of Kiss collecting. And there was a time, for the longest time throughout college and my young adult life, I was only going to collect Australian merch. I realize now how hard that would have been, and I would have also missed a lot of other fun. Australian stuff is so much fun, and that is what we are going to look at tonight. A little brief history of my love and Danny's love with Australia. Now let's take a look at Steve Alexander's amazing gift to us, a Kiss care package from Australia. This is rad. Check this out. At first I thought like this was like a tour book, because it was in a Ziploc bag. Thought it was like a tour book because I saw the back. It said Kiss 50. And I saw Epic Rights. Check this out. This is absolutely badass. America, you're missing your mark with this stuff. Check this out. These are Australian stamps. You have Love Gun, another Love Gun, Peter Solo. You have the New York City fountain photo, Monster, a cruise era photo, Tommy wearing the Elder outfit, Kiss 74, Paul Solo, Bicentennial, Gene Solo, Rock and Roll Over, and Ace Solo. How awesome is that? Stamps. Like, I understand Kiss is making stickers now, a sticker book that comes out in October. But these are missed opportunities, American Epic Rights. Maybe they release these in America, I don't know. But it's even cooler that they're from Australia, because Australia and Kiss are hand in hand, a beautiful pair. And more diamond print stickers. Oh my gosh. I have actually been on the radar was the large yellow. I didn't know there was a large, just plain silver prism. Holy moly. Look at these. Again, my heart melts for these stickers. My gosh, I'm on cloud 9. I can't even explain it. Dang, these stickers. I love these so much. And a new frame is going up on the wall, and I'm going to have to make room for it. But like we always say, those are good problems to have. Thank you, Steve. So if you know anything of Australian merch, you know in 1980 that Peter's Ice Cream came out with Kiss ice cream pops. They had 4 different wrappers, Gene, Paul, Ace, and Eric. And it's some of the coolest Kiss merch ever. Those boxes, those wrappers in your collection just take you and your collection to a whole new level. And I cannot stop smiling at this, because when Kiss was on the Monster Tour in 2013, they visited Australia, and Peter's Ice Cream came back out with Kiss ice cream. The Kiss Thunderbolts from Australia. Lemonade, raspberry, and cola. 8-pack, 40th anniversary, limited edition from Peter's, with that wonderful red Kiss logo that is very reminiscent. The entire box is reminiscent of 1980. When The Mandalorian first came out, there was like Star Wars ice cream bars. I ran to Hy-Vee to get those because I just love stuff like this. If these were released in the USA, I would have traveled all around the state of Missouri and the city of Kansas City to find these. This is the coolest stuff ever, and these, dying to know what these tasted like. They had to be good. This is reminiscent of the flavor ice that Danny and I would eat before band practice. This is the real shit. And I smile every time I look at this box. It's so cool. It's so... Man, maybe it's not cool to everyone, but just the little high school kid me who fell in love with Australia Kiss looks at this and just smiles. There are the dates that the Monster Tour played: Perth, Adelaide, Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, and Mackay. Here is the back, the front. I mean, that just, oh gosh dang, that just screams 1980 Australia fun. And then there are the ingredients: water, sugar, vegetable gum, elderberry juice concentrate. The Kiss Thunderbolts ice cream box. It doesn't get better than this. Well, actually it does, because he actually sent wrappers. The freaking wrappers from the ice cream treats. Gene, Paul, Eric, Tommy. So reminiscent of the 1980 version, and just so much fun. Like, these were only released in Australia, and to have them here in America is super cool to me. And I know I sound like a nerd, but this is just the high school me coming out. Like, I'm giddy as can be. And I thank you so much, man, for this, because this is, I don't mean to cuss, but this is like the shit for me. This is the shit I love. This, you know, Kiss leaping from the record store shelf to the toy store shelf to the grocery store aisle. That is pop culture. That is nostalgia. And I love it. Thank you so much, man. Now I am super hot-faced on Exposed, and I'm going to watch Exposed on DVD tonight. I need to get Extreme Close-Up and Confidential on DVD as well. Because sometimes you just don't want to risk your VCR eating a tape. You gotta go disc.
Not me, gentlemen. I'm going straight home to watch my disc. I got the Criterion Putney Swope.
And here we are. The Italian and Australian sticker wall. And there we have the diamond print logo stickers. Now I know we were going to keep Italian up here and then everything from here down was Australian, but you do what you can do. You adapt, improvise, and overcome, and there's an Australian diamond print at the top. But that pink really makes that yellow pop. I like it. I love Prism stickers. And we've just learned that there's a whole slew of Mexican Prism stickers, so that's the fun of collecting Kiss. Learning, discovering. It's all the fun of being a Kiss fan. If you want to know the secret to my heart, it's dogs and Prism stickers. Little boy wonders what Big Brother is doing. Well, he's not your big brother, he's your little brother, but he's bigger than you. That's so we call him Big Brother. Alright, people. Alright. Thank you for hanging with us tonight and waxing a little rock and roll nostalgia with us here in the Wax Night house. Be good to your babies. Spay, neuter, microchip. Take care. Be safe. Takedown. We will talk to you soon. Don't feel bad for little boy. Little boy stands on his own. Little boy is a fighter. Believe me. But they love each other. Right? Yes. See? Told you, little boy. Little boy does not stand for baloney. What 80s movie is that from? Have a good weekend, everyone.